Hello, my name is GK Fralin, also known as GK Fralin, and we call this our friendly community because we are. And tonight I'm doing things a little bit differently. I'm 63 years old and I have COPD, which is why you see that thing in my nose. And kids do ask me about it, and I don't mind. I'm a wife, a mother of 3 adult children, and a grandmother of 11 beautiful grandchildren. I don't let COPD completely rule my life. It does limit it, but I am determined to enjoy it as much as I can, and you are a part of that. Oh yes, the crazy puppets and the crazy me. Tonight I am going to read. I'm going to be poetic, and then I'm going to be literal. So I hope you'll enjoy this little bit of me. It is another part of a creative side. Thank you, and enjoy. Afternoon by the lake. She sits alone in a lawn chair within a shelter overlooking the lake, watching her man walk along the bank where she no longer dares to tread. Not like dead leaves that have fallen, but alive, she sees the green meat concrete of the shelter floor. Placing her mind in ripples of water, floats along the top of the water's skin and lets the damp refresh her. Forgotten tube beside her feeds oxygen needed for life. Her mind's clear as the fogless mirror. God blesses her with breeze of freshness, teasing her nose with smells of fresh hay in some farmer's field. The water holds odor of boat, gas, and fish. She does not mind as long as it's familiar. She pictures herself being hoisted into a boat, a pontoon. Given a pole, she casts it into the muddy green oblivion of unknown depth and content. What will she catch today? Her husband walks back to her with a smile of tender grace, eyes soft as a new lover. Her heart soars above all as she returns to her post in the shelter. Well, hello, I am here. I am going to go ahead and read a little more of The Search. We're learning about Sheridan, but we're also learning about this odd little town called Hidden. And she's now met this innkeeper. And he's kind of a little odd. And an old little guy. Let's see, let's start with the last sentence. She enjoyed his theatrics, but wondered just how much she could trust the old guy. She tried to gauge his height compared to her own. She guessed him to be a few inches taller. The odd little innkeeper didn't fit the majestic feel of the inn. Well, I can see you are going to be an interesting guest. Excuse me? As he motioned her through the door, he enlightened her. I've learned 2 things about you already. You don't follow instructions, and you cannot fight temptation. His smile grew from ear to ear with what she assumed was some sense of self-satisfaction. As he lifted his left hand to welcome her inside, she noticed it was a child-sized hand. It looked smooth and soft. His right hand was a man's hand, rough and calloused from hard work. I see you've discovered my gifted hands. He held them both up. You, sir, are a wonder. Sheridan laughed the words more than stating them, which seemed to encourage him. He led Sheridan to a large bureau made of cherry wood in a lobby at the end of a long, wide corridor. She noticed doors to rooms off both sides of the passageway. One door was open, revealing an office. She imagined the other doors were equally utilitarian, except one labeled in great polished brass letters, Shepherd's Closet. Once they entered the lobby, their voices echoed, and Sheridan looked up to see all the way to the top of a 3-story building with grand staircases curving up each wing from the base. She felt that she must try to sketch it, however rough her talent. She stood at the bureau and pulled out her credit card. The old man slapped a ledger on top. I just need a room for one day. I only plan to stay for a good nap and let the fog lift. That is the weirdest fog down the road. What fog? Looks clear enough to me. That's what makes it odd. It's clear as a bell in this direction, but every time I'd turn back toward the highway, I was in a deep fog again. Not to worry, young lady. He doesn't believe me, she thought. He turned the book in her direction and glanced at the card. Take things for granted, too, I see. You don't pay until you leave. The cost of your stay depends on what you do with your time here. Before she could grab it, he picked up her card, pulled out a large pair of scissors, and chopped it in 4 pieces. What the heck do you think you're doing? You had no right. I want a phone so I can call my friend at Lincoln. She took a deep breath. Was this man deaf? He continued what he was doing as if she said nothing. Hey! Sheridan grabbed his arm. Phone. Heard you? Don't have one. This is getting a little weirder, isn't it? And we'll start from there next time I decide to read. Well, I kind of enjoyed it. That guy's weird. Yeah, but he's funny too. What's a leprechaun? Oh, leprechaun is a fantasy figure from Ireland who is kind of a trickster. Oh, is this guy a trickster? Well, so far he seems to be kind of a comic and kind of a, I don't know. I guess he'd be a trickster. At least so far he seems that way. Wow, I can't wait to see what's next. Well, I hope them too, but we'll see. I hope you've enjoyed this little different kind of a video. Shall we say goodnight? You see, I used to sing, but of course my lungs don't work quite as well, so I have them do most of it. Shall we sing our goodnight song? I sure think so. Okie doke. Rosie's always up for it. Yeah, I love it. Good night. Good night. Don't let the bugs bite. Good night. Good night. Sleep till the daylight. Good night. Good night. Be kind to each other. Good night, good night. Tell someone you love them. Oh, long note there. Uh, I want to thank John Hampton, a man from Oz. He is from Australia, and he has joined my Smile and Wave movement. Actually, he's the one who started calling it a movement. He went through their botanical gardens with his GoPro on his hat, and he did the Smile and Wave. And actually, I think he did pretty good. I think he got quite a few really good responses. Not all of them complete, but hey, it's a first try. And people, well, they're people, and they're all different kinds. But do smile and wave wherever you go, because being friendly makes you feel good, and you might make somebody's day. So we will see you tomorrow, and I won't read through the whole thing. Please do subscribe if you haven't. Let's keep building this community and building this community and building this community, because we are a happy bunch, and, well, I guess you'll see. Good night.